Good morning, friends. Whether each and every receipt is taxable? If you say that the receipts are to be divided into two parts, capital receipts and revenue receipts, and capital receipts can be taxed only if they are covered in the definition of income given in section 2 clause 24, then the next question is, it is whose duty to decide that particular receipt is of the nature covered in section 2 clause 24. It also leads towards the next question, that whether a particular amount which I have received, which I claim it to be of a capital nature, is to be seen from the angle of the recipient, that is myself, or it is to be seen from the angle of the payer. Let's say I have received a compensation because the builder agreed to deliver a flat to me, but he couldn't deliver that flat to me in time. Whether this compensation is a capital receipt, would it be taxable to me? Let's say I have received a compensation for foregoing my right to sue, would that be a capital receipt? A compensation received for damages which has been caused to my reputation, would that be my capital receipt? All those issues we are going to discuss in line of certain interesting judgments delivered by various authorities from time to time. Let me deal with the first issue. What has happened in this case was, there was a piece of land, a portion of that land was occupied by a tenant, and that occupancy was unauthorized one. The land was taken up for a development. All the other occupants of the land which were validly occupying that land as tenant were agreed to be provided a flat into the developed property. But since the assessee in question was an unauthorized occupant, he was not allotted any flat. So the assessee filed a suit against the builder. The builder did not want any kind of a nuisance, so he agreed to deliver a flat to that particular assessee. It was held by Honorable Mumbai Tribunal that the compensation received by the assessee for removing the nuisance is going to be a capital in nature and it cannot be taxed. The Honorable Mumbai Tribunal relied on the other tribunal decisions, wherein two Supreme Court decisions were noted and relied. According to the first Supreme Court decision, it is the duty of the revenue to establish that a particular amount is of a revenue in nature, and once it is established that the particular amount is of revenue in nature, in that circumstances, it is the assessor's duty to establish that this amount is an exempted income. The tribunal also relied on another Supreme Court judgment, wherein it was clarified that whether a particular amount is a capital receipt or a revenue receipt is to be seen from the angle of the recipient and not from the angle of the payer. So the Mumbai Tribunal, relying on the decision of the coordinate bench where these judgments were relied upon, finally a decision was delivered that the amount received by the assessee for removing a nuisance is going to be a capital receipt and not taxable. Let us also deal with a case. What has happened in this case was that we are talking about a second case. What has happened in this case was, assessee has participated in an auction carried out by Punjab National Bank by virtue of the order of a debt recovery tribunal. Assessee was a successful bidder. Certificate of sale was issued in his favor. He was given the possession of the property, and of course the assessee has paid a particular amount as agreed towards the purchase of the property. Later on, that debt recovery tribunal's decision was challenged before the debt recovery appellate tribunal, and the decision of the DRT was reversed. Consequently, the assessee was directed to return back the possession. Assessee has filed a suit before the Honorable High Court, and Honorable High Court directed that the assessee not only to be refunded the amount that he has paid, but over and above that, he deserves to be compensated, and that's why he was also given a particular amount as an interest. Punjab National Bank provided the amount of interest to the DRT. DRT refunded back the amount that the assessee paid towards the purchase of a property, along with the other amount which was compensation and in the nature of interest. The question now is, can this interest be taxable? Revenue took a view that it is an interest income and it is going to be taxable in nature. The Honorable Court examined the definition of interest as given in section 2 clause 28a. The Honorable High Court observed that there is no date which has been created. It is not a transaction of a date. The assessee has participated in an auction, and assessee has paid the amount which he has agreed to pay. There was no clause in that particular auction that in an eventuality of cancellation of the agreement, a particular amount along with the interest would be paid. So the compensation is just calculated in the form of an interest, and that's why this interest cannot be brought to tax. It is a capital receipt. The Honorable Delhi High Court relied on the other decisions where it was held that if assessee lease is cancelled and that's why assessee is given a compensation, then that particular compensation received by a assessee on account of cancellation of lease would be a capital in nature. One more issue came up before the Honorable Delhi Tribunal. What has happened in this case was, the builder agreed that he would deliver a flat within a particular period of time. There was a failure on the part of a builder to deliver a flat, and accordingly, the builder paid compensation which was in the nature of interest. Once again, it was held by the Honorable Delhi Tribunal that when a compensation is being paid and that compensation is paid in the form of an interest. So we say that when an interest is of a compensatory nature, it would take a character of a compensation, and being a compensation in nature, it would be a capital receipt. It will not be taxed. There was one more issue came up before Bombay Tribunal in case of one of the very famous actress. What has happened in this case was, the actress has agreed to perform for a company in a promotional activities. The actress was supposed to devote 30 days time over a period of 2 calendar years, and then she was agreed to be paid 1 crore 50 lakhs of rupees for the services that she is going to render, that she has to be available for the promotional activities, advertisement and all those things. She was being paid 1 crore rupee as well. Later on, some disputes took place and her contract was cancelled. She filed a suit against the company that the cancellation of contract was illegal, and as a matter of fact, she was sexually harassed by the employees of the company. Consequently, the company and the assessee probably entered into a settlement, and it was agreed that the assessee would be paid 1 crore 50 lakhs of rupees. So mind it, assessee would be paid somewhere around 1 crore 45 lakhs of rupees. So mind it, 1 crore she was already paid out of the agreed compensation of 1 crore 50 lakhs for the services that she was supposed to render for 2 years. Now further sum of 1.45 crores was agreed to be paid. So what the assessee did was, assessee in a return offered 50 lakhs as an income, because 1 crore she was already paid, that was an income out of 1.5 crores. Now the compensation which has come 1.45 crores, out of that the remaining 50 lakhs was treated as an income, but the balance 95 lakhs she treated as an amount that she has received towards the compensation for damages. and that is a capital receipt. The department disagreed with that. As a matter of fact, the Honorable Mumbai Tribunal passed an order in favor of assessee, confirming the action of the assessee, treating this 95 lakhs of rupees as a capital in nature. And that leads me to the last topic for today's talk. If I receive a compensation for foregoing my right to sue, will that be a capital receipt or will that be a taxable to me? The issue came up before the Honorable Ahmedabad ITAT. It was observed that the assessee has entered into an agreement to purchase an immovable property, let's say piece of land. Later on, it was observed by, or it was learnt by the assessee that the owners of the land have transferred that particular land to some of their family members. Obviously, the legal proceedings were initiated. Finally, the arbitration award was passed, wherein a sum of rupees 70 crore rupees was received by the assessee for foregoing the right to sue. The question was whether this amount is a capital receipt or not. The Honorable Ahmedabad ITAT, relying on its earlier decision, held that this amount is a capital receipt and it is not taxable. I hope, friends, this judgment would be a lot of help to you. With this note, I take a leave of yours for today. We'll see you soon in the next video. Till then, please take care of yourself. Thank you.